Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. It is Erickson here this Open Line Friday. The phone number is 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, you can text Erick, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. I'll be smoking my brisket this weekend for the Super Bowl, a Wagyu brisket from Snake River Farms. There will be pictures on Instagram. Text Erick, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You get my Instagram link, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, podcast, live stream, all that stuff. I'm going to start. I get this question more than any other. In fact, my buddy Justin texted me this morning, what do you think is the most fascinating thing happening right now in the world? And I replied to him, the pace of news. The pace of news because of Donald Trump. For the last 4 years with Joe Biden, he was moving so slow that Donald Trump he moves fast and does a lot to begin with. But even more than that, we're just not used to the pace. So I had my entire show ready to go this morning. I kind of outlined, take notes of I want to talk about this in this segment and this segment and the little points I want to get, and then suddenly get a curveball thrown. This has happened more often than not. It's actually one of the pleasures of coming to work right now and doing the show every day. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love doing my show on a daily basis. But, during the Biden administration, even to some degree, I'm sure we'll get into this with the Trump administration, there will be a few days where you're just talking about the same thing over and over. We've talked about USAID quite a lot this week, and I'm kind of tired of the topic. But other stuff just comes fast and furious and changes on a moment's notice. And so I've had to punt what I was going to talk about and talk about something else. I thought it was a joke at first, and I was like, this can't be real, and yet it is. Donald Trump has tweeted, quote, I will be signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Bring back plastic, back to plastic. Yes, please. He posted that about an hour ago. He wants to bring back plastic straws. Now, Erickson, you're going to do an entire monologue on plastic straws? No, I'm not. Just follow along with me here, though. One of the weirdest, funniest parts of the paper straw business is in states where plastic straws are banned, companies are, with juice boxes now, putting paper straws with the juice boxes, and the paper straws are in plastic bags. For those of you who have kids and you get a juice box, it's got the plastic straw with a crinkly end so it can fold down, and it's in a plastic bag that is glued to the side of the box. Well, to glue the paper straw to the side of the box, they're still using the same plastic bags. So we can't have the plastic straw, but we got the plastic bag. And and I know that no one has actually found a sea turtle out there that has a plastic straw stuck in its throat. They haven't found them. This is the nightmare scenario from the environmentalists. Oh, look at the cute little sea turtle. Don't you remember Finding Nemo? They're snorting the plastic straws and dying with straws sticking out of their nostril. No sea turtle is harmed by the plastic straw. There's plenty of trash in the ocean. For them to get worked up about the plastic straws has been stupid. The paper straws are gross. They don't feel good on your lips. Go to a Ted's Montana Grill. There aren't a lot of them left. The business is kind of, I guess, in decline. My wife and my kids and I, we like a Ted's Montana Grill. Ted Turner started CNN, has this place. It was a place to sell his buffalo product. I don't actually eat the buffalo, but they got a great chicken sandwich. My kids like the regular hamburgers. They love the milkshakes and the cookies. But they serve you and always have the paper straws, and the paper straws just aren't great. Now, Ted's, they hold up, but even the Ted straws, you sit there long enough, the straws get soggy. The wild thing at Ted's, you go to the bathroom, they don't have soap, they have borax. It's that you wash your hands with, which is kind of wild. He's always been that way. The company's been that way. They could probably have a bigger business if they use soap and plastic straws, but I digress. But nobody really likes the paper straws. Even the environmentalists who want the paper straws don't particularly care for the paper straws. But it's not just the paper straws, it's the plastic bags. They refer to them as single-use plastic bag. As a parent, I am unaware of what a single-use plastic bag is because we save all the plastic bags. You pick up dog poop with them. You can rake out a litter box with them. You can put dirty diapers in them. You can put other bits of trash in them. You could use them as trash bags for your little trash cans. They're not single-use. They're multifaceted use, and yet the left has said we must get rid of the single-use plastic bags. And what they mean is the grocery store plastic bags. And what they want you to do is to carry your own bags. Now, I am from a family, not only do we reuse the plastic bags, but we have some of those cloth tote bags. We always forget to take them to the grocery store. I laughed the other day because I was in my local Publix. God bless her, the lady in front of me had her tote bags for her groceries, and they were on the bottom of the shopping cart. She had piled them there, and the bag boy was bagging her groceries into plastic bags, and she only at the end realized she had brought her totes with her to be a good citizen. Too late. They were already bagged, and everybody had a laugh about it. By the way, during COVID, they were discouraging the totes. They wanted to go back to the single-use plastic bags because they were more sanitary than the totes. Nobody washes the totes. But it's not just that. Noah Rothman, I mentioned this piece a couple of years ago on the program. I read a portion of it, and I saw him retweeted today about that. This is from May of 2023. The war on things that work. The Green New Deal's literature called for mobilizing every aspect of American society to eliminate greenhouse gas emissions from every sector of the economy. It called for upgrades and retrofits to every building in America, charging stations everywhere, the sputtering of every fossil fuel or nuclear power plant, the forced obsolescence of every combustible engine vehicle. Its architects' ambitions knew no limit. And while the Green New Deal may be dead, the universalism to which its advocates adhere is very much alive. Armed with an unchecked self-confidence and possessed of an abiding faith in the idea that you must be coerced into altruism, the activists seem to be coming for almost everything you own. In the process, they are waging a crusade against convenience, an assault on comparative advantage, and a war on things that work. Securing the fossil fuel-free future that President Biden imagines for us sometime in the 2030s will not be a pain-free proposition. At least that appears to be the conceit of the more radical wing of the environmentalist left. The scale of the challenge, as they see it, demands sacrifice from us all. One of their most controversial moves is to give up natural gas-powered appliances, your gas kitchen range foremost among them. They're coming after all the stuff that works. I have a tankless water heater from Rinnai. Rinnai water heater. It is, I always wanted one. Paul Harvey, when I was a kid, used to advertise the forever hot water from Rinnai. And finally, several years ago, the CEO of Rinnai was listening to my show and heard me talk about it. And they're like, you want a Rinnai water heater? We can take care of you. And it's wonderful. The only downside of our Rinnai water heater is that we had two small electric water heaters under our house, no less. And no one could use hot water when our kid was taking a shower. So we didn't realize that our house just doesn't have fantastic pressure. If two people try to take a shower at one time, the pressure in our house sucks about it. It's not usable. So we still can only take one shower at a time. But when our kid used to take a shower with the electric water heaters, it was hours upon hours upon hours before anyone else could take a shower because all the hot water was gone. Now she gets out of the shower, next person get in. It is unlimited hot water, and it's wonderful. The geniuses in the Biden administration, despite the high efficiency of this tankless water heater that I have, decided to pass regulations to ban them. Why? Because though hyper efficient and good for the environment, they use natural gas. And that's bad. And they decided what they want people to do somehow or another is to route their hot water line through their air conditioning HVAC system, which is a more complicated process than get rid of a highly efficient, highly usable, highly wonderful, tankless water heater. You could, by the way, keep your electric ones and your gas ones, but the tankless ones that are more efficient, no, the regulations would have shut it down. It would have cost this company, Rinnai, about 100+ jobs. Instead, it's the Department of Energy regulators who wanted to pass the rule who are now unemployed by the Trump administration. Some people say that's sad. I say that's justice. They were willing to put 100+ people in the private sector on the jobless line for their environmentalist crusade. And now the environmentalist crusaders at the Department of Energy are unemployed. Justice. They're coming after everything that works. They're coming after your car. There are nanny staters out there. And, I got to say, the members of my audience who make me the maddest are the nanny staters. Who, for example, when I tell you, and it's true, that we have priced the poor out of new cars because of all the safety regulations, the backup cameras, the monitors, the tire monitors, all the other things that are required in modern cars have driven up the price. I get some nanny stater who can afford it saying, well, it makes the car safer. At a marginal cost, it makes the car safer, but prices the poor out of ownership of a vehicle that's new. You pampered, privileged SOB who has the audacity to tell me that your backup camera makes it so much safer we're not running over kids. Do you know how many kids were being run over beforehand? It's like the stupid school cameras. The number of people saying, well, you should just slow down, the cameras are there for... No, you completely missed the point. It's a tax on the poor. They're not even using the money from the school cameras for school safety in Georgia. They're using it to pad the bottom line for local governments, 3 of which thus far have been exposed for abusing the cameras, and more are soon to be exposed. But it's for the children. No, it's not, you idiot. Stop believing everything they tell you. We've marginally made cars safer, but the real reason for adding all the safety features was not to make the car safer. It was to price the poor out of buying a vehicle under the rubric of it's for the children. There are morons in this country who the moment you say it's for the children fall all over themselves, and that's what they say about all the environmentalist stuff. You can't have a good dishwasher in this country. 1, I mean, they're hard to marry these days, but 2, they take 2 to 3 hours to wash the dishes, even when you're standing over them, reminding them of their wedding vows. It takes 2 to 3 hours for our top-of-the-line dishwasher, and I don't mean my wife in this case. She's taller than me and has more guns, let's be honest. It takes 2 to 3 hours for my dishwasher to wash the dishes in my house. It's very quiet. I got a great Bosch. But our old dishwasher that finally broke and they no longer made the parts for it could do an entire load of dishes fairly quietly in less than half the time. Or shower heads as well. If Donald Trump wants a legacy, his legacy should be to bring back the things that work. Return the things that work. Return the plastic straw. They're perfectly fine. Return the plastic bags to the grocery stores. They're perfectly fine. Allow us to have dishwashers and refrigerators and washing machines and dryers that don't have to be replaced every 5 to 10 years because the parts wear out. A lot of people want to blame private equity. Say, oh, they cut costs. They had to do it. And they want it to break after 5 years, so you have to constantly replace. That's not actually true when you talk to the manufacturers of these products that haven't been sold to private equity. There are still some mom and pop businesses in the country that make the washing machines and the dryers, and what they tell you is it's to comply with the efficiency regulations of the federal government, and those parts that are more efficient break down more often. If Donald Trump really wants to secure a lasting legacy in this country, return the things that work to us. Starting with the plastic straws is a good step. Bring back the high-flow shower heads. Let us have more water if we want. Let it be our choice. Stop nanny-stating us with regulation to shut us down. Allow car manufacturers to build cars that poor people can afford. You're for the working class, Mr. President. Get rid of all the nanny state fuel efficiency rules and safety rules in vehicles. So every car manufacturer should be allowed to make just one car that maybe doesn't have the tire pressure sensor or the breathalyzer or even, I don't know, the rear reverse camera. Just bring back stuff that works.